Hello, what's up? It's me, Brianka J, and I want to thank you for coming to my little corner of the internet. If you're new here, please become a friend of the channel. Smash the subscribe button. So easy. Like, comment. All of these are great ways to support the channel. But everything here is about books. We talk about books, literature, new releases, old releases, classic works, short stories. Like, I'm just a lover of books. So anytime you guys email me and give me a recommendation, I absolutely take it, consider it, and then sometimes it comes a video. I love your emails. This is too long of a intro for a very short video. So let's get to the nitty gritty. I'm back because I posted my review of Darnell and Chuka as a comparison, right? Which I still think is a totally valid video. But I want to come and just talk about Chuka as his own being, because I think that changes the narrative. So let's get in it. We're talking about Dream Count by Chiamaka Ngozi Adichie. It's a novel. Okay, so I told you guys that I read this. I enjoyed it so much. I think it was so rich. It gave me a lot to think about, and I wish I would have come and gave a review the first time I read it, because I think that would have just been fresher first perspective. I'm on like my third read now, so when I give you this review, it's more thought about, and it's very the Easter eggs. Like, I had the time to really sit there and diagnose it. What I will say though is I really do enjoy the book. And I want to talk about the character Chuka for a bit, and then at the end we'll hit a review. How about we do it that way? Because I don't want to. I'll have to make chapters for this one because I'm rambling already. Chuka. Like I said, when I did the comparison with Darnell and Chuka, character analysis, I'll plug it. It's absolutely relevant, but I did want to take a minute to think about Chuka and let him stand alone as his own person, and then consider why he wasn't her choice, why he wasn't the person she chose to spend her life with, right? Because I think that was relevant, and I think it was not fair of me really to kind of be like, but he's so much better than Darnell. And it's like, yeah, he is, but is he the person for Chia? So let's dig into it again. So when I first said, I don't know why she wouldn't be with him. And like, again, I respect her choice, because I think that's what this is kind of about, right? Her choice. Like, I just read a post from the United Nations, and take it for what it was, because it was posted in 2019. But it says, in 19 countries, married women are required by law to obey their husbands. In 17 countries, there are restrictions on married women traveling outside their homes. In 31 countries, married women lose the right to choose where to live. With that said, what I think I take from Chia and Chuka's relationship is that Chia had a choice, and she exercised her choice. Whether I agree with it, her mom agrees with it, or anyone, Chia was allowed to exercise her choice and who she spent her life with. And I think that was very important to see, and for women to understand and acknowledge and accept and respect. Because, yeah, to me, I think, Chuka is a great man. I think, they say Chuka's good man air, had set off Zecora. And we see how she talks about him. He had an unusual self-possession, as though he would face emergencies with genuine calm. He was 9 years older than me, but seemed even older, not aged, but vividly grown up, like an adult archetype. So courteous and proper, so sensible. He must have been perfect in secondary school, the kind liked by both students and teachers, who just quiet a rowdy classroom, but would also sneak out of school with friends for beer and cigarettes. So this is how she sees him. Like, he just is a really great guy. He gets along with everybody. He's very charming. He's charismatic. But he's also respectable, responsible. He's someone you can count on. So I think what's important is that Adichie did write him as a character where you're not pointing out these flaws. What we do see is that Chia doesn't find him particularly attractive. I think that's what's interesting. Sorry, I wanted to show. When she first meets him, it's like it's nice he both live in the DMV area. He said that first day with quiet anticipation. And I smiled and said yes. His living room in his house in Northern Virginia reminds me of our house in Enugu. Tan leather sofas, a tan coffee table, and heavy tasseled tan curtains. I felt for a moment the strange sensation of being pursued by the past. Everything matches, I said in dismay without meaning to sound dismayed. So it was a couple things. I think that even from my first moment with Chuka, when she talks about him, she's not talking about this initial attraction to him. And I think that's more of what Chia kind of desired, a type of attraction. She trusted him. She could rely on him. He was dependable. But we don't see her really become attractive to him until a little bit when she sleeps with him, right? And then she says like she likes him. Let's see. So she talks about how, he didn't want to rush her, but eventually she says, I wasn't even sure I wanted to sleep with him at all. I took months before I let him undress me in his bedroom, not really wanting to, but feeling I should because I did like him and I was, by most measures, his girlfriend now, and he somehow deserved it. Being so proper and attentive. It would be predictable, I was sure, even perfunctory, but at least not unpleasant. This is what she's thinking that the sex is going to be like with Chuka going into this relationship. The next sentence, she says, how unutterably wrong I turned out to be. Chuka startled me with the new and unexpected pleasures. Doors never opened were suddenly flung apart, our bodies in riot, and all the old laws undone. Okay, so the initial attraction didn't, and I think maybe she loved the sex. Okay, we get that. But then she still kind of, I don't know. There obviously it wasn't enough. Like it wasn't enough because I feel like I don't know. She said afterwards, I lay dazed. I love you, he said, and I said, what did you just do to me? I wanted a repeat. Already I wanted and wanted. So she didn't respond to him saying like I love you. She responded by, thinking about the sex. And she liked him enough, but she didn't find him, I think it still comes down to she didn't find him really like attractive. She didn't have this innate connection where she wanted to be around him and she wanted to laugh with him. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I can't say. I was actually reading a review on Reddit called Nigerian Book. Shout out to the person who keeps that Reddit channel going because I was listening to her, looking at her review, and she talks about how she just characterized Chiamaka as someone with low self-esteem. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting because I didn't get that. And if you guys read the book, you let me know because I didn't see her as someone with low self-esteem, but I saw her as someone that was deeply interested in exploration. She was a travel writer. She was an explorer by every means of the word. She really was just interested in different dynamics. And even the men she chose, like, yes, Chuka, but then outside of Chuka, it was this one guy from England, and then it was also Darnell. And when I say 3 different men completely, she was just interested in having like experiences and enjoying life. But I don't know if she ever found something she wanted to settle on, or if she was a settler. Maybe it could be quite possible that she was more of just an explorer, and that's why she didn't want to settle into this life, especially one where she felt like she knew the ending, because she kept saying how familiar he was. So I took it for someone who already could see what her life would be in a life with Chuka, and not be particularly excited about going into that role. Now, did she know exactly who or what role she wanted to take on? No, but I think that was the beauty of her story, that she wasn't sure and she has her flaws and she doesn't know and it's not all figured out, and she chooses to kind of keep going. I love her resilience. Like, I think that it takes a very strong person to kind of keep going out there and dating and meeting new people and subjecting themselves to the ups and downs of love, and it's all of its wonder. Um, Shout out to them, you know. So I think it was fun to read about her resilience. Cause yeah, girl, that's a lot. But love to read about it. Very interesting. But in that way, I think that's why she didn't choose to be in a relationship with Chuka, is because one, it just felt very familiar. She didn't find him particularly attractive, and then ultimately, I think she just really was and she was happy with her freedom. Do I think he would have been a great match? I said that before. Like, I think he was great. He was supportive. He was listening. He was comfortable. He was able to be around her and understand her and accept their differences. Like, it was unfortunate that she saw him as someone that would not be able to understand, because I think that was Chia's way of limiting who that person could be. Like, I feel like he was never given this opportunity to show up outside of who she saw him as. She didn't really he comes off like very boring, stick up his ass, you know. And it's a way that makes, but it's also a part of me like, oh, that's really, I'm gonna play girl. I find that kind of attractive. Like, he's settled, he's comfortable, he knows what he wants, he has a routine, he's clean, he's polished. That's wonderful news. Love it. But not for Chia. That was, she wanted more. And shout out to a woman wanting more. You know, I think that sometimes women are taught to consistently take what is given, and that's what Fabici kind of tells her, like, you were never grateful to be loved. And it's like, I'm grateful, I guess, but damn, like, can he loves me, that's great, but can I love him? Like, and I think that's what it was. She wanted to be in love, and though she loved him, maybe, I guess, I don't even know if she said it ever, but I don't know if she ever felt in love or felt enraptured or felt she would be ravished. You know, she was shocked that the sex was good. So she just wanted to be, you know, able to choose, and I think I respect her right to choose. And then, you know, I made a point in the comment section of the other video, because I just said I couldn't let that video sit in itself, and you think that I didn't understand Chia, because I do. But how many men don't choose the woman who we think, well, why? She's pretty, she's smart, she's successful, she has this, she has that, why not? And they're just like, I don't know. And we say, okay. And so if therefore men get to choose, then women get to choose. And as is her right to not choose this perfectly wonderful man. It's her right to say no. And so, you know, hey, power to my girl. Power to the people. Chuka, call me. No, I'm kidding. But thank you guys for watching. In terms of the review, though, did I like the book? Obviously, yes, I enjoyed the book a lot. I think it was a very great read. It was really a tale where Dream Count is a book about 4 women with 4 different lives, and you could say trying to access and assess what their dreams were. And each woman was so different. So we have, you know, Chiamaka, and she's a travel writer, and she talks about her 4 loves, and you could tell that she always dreamed of having a great love, and that was kind of her quest to get there. And then we see Kariatu, who is Chiamaka's help, and she is wonderful, and her story is about coming to America and having a child, and how she has now accepted getting an education for that child, and that's her dream. And we have a woman who was in banking, and she climbed the career ladder, left, became a student, and, you know, she dreamed of all time. Her dreams are quite interesting. Shout out to my girl. I can't even say it, but I won't ruin the book for you. And then we have Zakora, who had a dream of just having love and a marriage and a traditional family and a child, and how they have tried to reach those dreams and how those dreams have run awry. And it was very interesting because you're also looking at these 4 women who migrated from Africa to the United States, which is a very different experience and culture, and how they're observing and making sense of this new world. And I think that's very interesting because they talk about how they're perceived and how they perceive the people around them. And I think that's a very great look into a life that I don't always, a perspective that I don't always consider. So it was interesting to kind of walk through those eyes for a while. And she goes through some of the really, interesting things that happen to women, and now I can understand, like, this is a universal thing that happens to all of us. So that was great to just read about and see. And I think overall, I think it's a great book. I don't know where it's going to end on the book list this year, but I know it was highly anticipated for 2025. So I'm glad so many people are reading it and enjoying it and interested in it. And if you haven't read it, check it out. And all of these videos are spoilers, but you should read the book anyway and enjoy it because it's just a really good read. That's all I got. I will, I guess I'll get with you guys soon. Toodaloo.